There are 5 main things that you need to know and understand if you want to have your content go viral on social media, whether that be TikTok or Instagram, every single time. If you are wanting to grow and then monetize your social media accounts, then listen up. Because once you understand these 5 things, you will end up going viral more often, getting major follower growth, and then also getting those paid brand deals. So a little bit about me. My name is Matt, and I actually started TikTok on a dare with my brother-in-law that you could not monetize social media. So I opened up a TikTok account back in 2022, and at first I was just sharing my story of working at a 9-to-5 job with Google to then trying to get to this point where I could eventually leave my job and do real estate investing full time. But then finally, at the end of 2022, I was able to achieve that goal, leave that job, and pursue my real estate investing dream. We opened our first Airbnb at that point in time, and then I started to really take social media seriously. And now just 2 years later, I have over 300,000 followers across all platforms. I also had over 110 million views on my videos in just 2024 alone. And then on top of that, I'm consistently making $8,000 to $10,000 every single month through brand deals and then also from views on TikTok. You guys, taking social media seriously was one of the best decisions that I have ever made. Not only has it helped me grow my brand, but it's also brought me tons of new connections with other content creators or even individuals who are doing real estate like I am. I've been blessed to meet and get to know individuals who are doing 10, 20, or even 100 times better than I am. I've been brought out onto different podcasts from very popular individuals, and it's just opened massive doors and opportunities to do things that I never even dreamed was possible. Also, now that I've opened some of these doors and figured out how to properly monetize my content, I've been able to work with some top brands in the short-term rental and even long-term rental industry. So if I was starting over right now in 2025, this is what I wish that I would have known from the beginning. All right, so item number 1, how it works. Before we actually dive into the content itself, we need to understand what these social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, what these guys actually want from us as creators. Because the reality is, if you don't know what they want from you, then you're going to spend all this time making these videos, putting in this work just to have them flop. TikTok and Instagram are both free to use, but why is that? It's because they run ads. And the way that they generate that ad revenue is by keeping viewers' attention longer. So your primary focus as a content creator needs to be to try to draw in the attention of your viewers and keep them hooked as long as possible, because that is what will push your content out. All right, so item number 2 is the content itself. We're going to talk about the story, the hook, and the CTA, which means call to action. So prior to filming, prior to even making that TikTok or Instagram account, you need to figure out what your niche is and what you want your target audience to be, because you can't just be all over the place. You need to figure out that main topic, that main niche, and then go off of that. So once you have that figured out, then we can get into the rest. Like for me personally, my main topic or theme on my profile is real estate education. Every time I go to make content, before I even sit down, I actually have an ongoing list on my phone at all times with just a list of different things that I want to talk about. Once you have your story figured out, then the next part of your video that you need to get right is your hook. The hook is the first 3 to 5 seconds of your video, and it's actually the most important part of the entire thing. Because if you get your hook wrong and you do not grab your audience in, you don't get that initial engagement from those first 3 to 5 seconds, then you're going to lose their attention, you're going to lose the video, and it's not going to go viral. A good hook typically contains a surprising statistic, intriguing question, bold statement, dramatic visual, personal story, or a tease of something exciting to spark curiosity and encourage viewers to watch the rest of your video. And then finally, the third item here is your CTA. That's your call to action. It is the end of your video that encourages people to comment on it or to share it. So for me personally, in a lot of my videos, you will see me end it with a question of some kind, like, how would you have handled this differently? Do you think that I handled this the correct way? What would you have done if you were in my shoes, or something like that? All right, so number 3 on my list is the video editing. When it comes to video editing, you need to make sure that you are grabbing the attention of your viewers, and these are just a few ways that I accomplish that. First off is with a good hook caption. So if you have a good hook at the beginning of your video, again, that's the first 3 to 5 seconds of the video, you need to make sure that you also have a good caption for that hook. Even if you're not using captions throughout the rest of your video, you need to make sure that you have this in place, because a lot of times viewers are reading faster than they are listening. So this is a good way to grab that attention of them right from the get-go. Typically mine are about 2, maybe 3 lines max. The next thing on my list is transitions. People lose attention quickly, so you need to make sure that your transitions are no longer than 2 to 3 seconds max. This means that every 2 to 3 seconds, you are either showing a different camera angle or you have some sort of other video overlay over you speaking, something like that. Something that is changing what they're seeing every few seconds and keeping their attention. And then finally, the last thing when it comes to editing is your video length. Typically on a TikTok or Instagram short, I do not want to be any longer than a minute to a minute and a half max. Otherwise, you're just going to lose everyone. You're not going to get anyone to comment because nobody's watching to the end. All right, so now number 4 on the list is monetization. I'm sure that you guys have all been eagerly waiting to hear about how to monetize your content. There are honestly many different ways to monetize, but these are just 3 main things that I use personally. So the first thing on this list and where I make the bulk of my money now as a content creator is through paid partnerships. There are different types of videos that you can make when it comes to paid partnerships, but I have seen the most successful creators doing UGC style content, which is user generated content, because it's a more authentic way to demonstrate a brand. When you truly understand and get good at incorporating a brand or a product into your content to make it feel authentic to your viewers, that is when you will get paid more. That is when you will see more brand deals come your way. So the number one way that I acquire most all of my brand deals, and this may shock you guys, is actually through reaching out to them directly, whether that be through social media, like messaging them on TikTok or Instagram, or by going to a real estate conference or short-term rental conference and going up to them and speaking with them about it. A lot of these companies might already have a social media manager, but they have not worked with a content creator. So reaching out to that individual through social media or in person is a great way to start up that relationship and actually get something going. Anymore now, I will not work with a company that I do not already use in my business or personal life, or that I would not want to recommend to my viewers. I've been burned with this in the past by recommending a company just for compensation on videos that I didn't do my research for, and that I ended up getting, people reach out to me through messaging saying, hey, have you actually read the reviews? This is not a great company. And then it makes me look bad as a content creator. I also never just offer a single video. I won't just do an individual video for a company. I always offer a package deal, typically doing 2 or 3 videos over a 4-week or 6-week time period. That way it shows a more authentic side to me with recommending this company as well, and it does not just come across as an ad. All right, so the second form of monetization that I use when it comes to content creation is affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is where you get paid when somebody purchases a product or service that you are recommending. Basically, you get a commission or a bump back of some kind. Occasionally, this can also be tied to a paid partnership that you were doing, like you're working with a company that offers a device or a service of some kind. Somebody signs up for that service or buys that product, you get a commission back from them. But more often than not, I don't do that type of paid partnership anymore because I want the earnings for that video up front. I don't want to hope that maybe I'll see something later on. But that's really up to you on how you want to do it. All right, so the last way that I monetize social media right now is through channel monetization. So basically getting paid from TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube to post content, people watch it, you get paid off of views. Now, one thing that I do need to note here is that Instagram actually took their paid per views feature away, so you can no longer get that program on Instagram anymore. The main source for me for revenue, it by far is TikTok because of my large following there. TikTok has multiple programs to get paid on. They have the Creator Fund, and then they also have the Creator Rewards program. I personally am part of the Creator Rewards program. On that program, I only get paid for videos longer than 1 minute in length, but it is significantly higher of a payment than on the Creator Fund, where you get paid on any length of video. Now, I do have 210,000 followers on TikTok currently, but just so you guys can get a better understanding of why so many content creators are wanting to keep TikTok around, just last year in 2024, I made over $25,000 just from views alone on TikTok. All right, so finally, we are going to get into number 5 on my list, which is the last item, and that is formatting of your video. The way you produce your video will tell a lot about you as an individual and as a brand. So you need to make sure that you are using different types of format to accomplish this. Although I've become really good at storytelling in a lot of my content, talking about different Airbnb horror stories or whatever, people would get really bored if they opened up my profile and that is all that they ever saw. So these are just 3 of the different types of formatting that I use in my content creation. The first one is called talking head, and this is what I primarily use. This would be for those storytelling videos where the camera is showing my face in the majority of the video. I might have some overlays, but this is where I can get into, training on content like, I bought 5 homes in 5 years, or this is a different type of lending that I use, or whatever else. But that is called a talking head video where I'm specifically talking to the camera. The next one is called text overlay, or at least I call it that. But this is basically where there's no talking in the video. You probably have some type of background music playing, but it's shifting through different videos as you have a text overlay throughout it. I typically see the best viewer retention on these videos because people are reading through it. They want to get to the next sentence that you have. But I also see these videos flop a lot because people don't have the right first grab for that hook, the first sentence that they put on it to grab that viewer's attention and keep them there. The last one that I use is called voiceover. The reason that a lot of creators like to do this is because it helps to humanize them with their audience. It makes them more authentic because you can do a get ready with me video. Basically, you have voiceover to video. That video is typically in line like, hey, here's what I did today, or hey, get ready with me, something like that, where you can still tell a story, you can still sell a product, whatever else, but you've got video of you doing something else while you're speaking in the background. Here's the deal, guys. Content creation is not about fancy editing. It's not about fancy cameras or microphones or all of this stuff. It is about finding a way to connect with people that are watching through being authentic in your content and then also being consistent with it. In my content, I show my kids, I show doing things with family and friends. I show going out and doing, being a normal person and not sitting in a Lamborghini or showing some fancy mansion or whatever, trying to inflate a lifestyle that's not attainable to anybody. You want to give people a realistic expectation of who you are and not just come across as a salesperson. And then the second part here is that you need to make sure that you're consistently posting. A lot of content creators will post, 3 days in a row, 5 days in a row, maybe even go a month consistently, but then they lose motivation because they're not seeing their stuff take off right away. For me, sometimes even, with 200,000 followers, I will be posting consistently. I'll see, 100,000 views on one video, and then I'll see 1 million on another. And then here, this next one is 1,000 views or whatever. And it's discouraging. I understand that, but you have to get past that and still keep posting consistently, because consistency and being authentic are the 2 ways that you will grab your audience in, you will get the most viral videos, and you will start to be able to monetize what you're doing as well.